Okay, the last section we have to go over in this book. Oh my goodness, you are almost there. Almost done. You can do this. We got this. Okay, so for this section, I should use that for a circle. Anyway, for this section, they're talking about parallel lines and perpendicular lines and what their slopes are. And the key thing to find out is whenever you're talking about parallel and perpendicular, you must know the slopes. So you got to figure out the best way of finding those slopes. When we're talking about problem number 2 on the class exercises down here, uh-oh, I didn't mean to tap it. I'm sorry. Sorry. I tapped it by mistake. Oh, you're just gonna have to get over it. Okay. There we go. Try not to tap it again, but it's not being helpful. Okay, so for number 2, they give you all of these, and they want to know which of these is parallel and which of these is perpendicular. Parallel lines have the exact same slopes. The only two slopes, which is where our slope would be right here, the only two slopes that are exactly the same are A and B, so A and B must be parallel. The slopes that are negative reciprocals, since these are positive, negative has to be a part of it, and this is the only one that's negative. So when I flip this one over and change the sign, I get C and D. These are perpendicular. So you have to be able to do that. You have to be able to look at different forms and be able to figure out where the slope is really quick, because that will keep you from having to do a whole bunch of work. Okay, so that was taking care of number 2 from the class exercises. If you look at number 4 in the class exercises, I'm on page 567. In case you didn't know, sorry about that. The class exercises number 4, they want you to find the slope of any line perpendicular to the indicated line. The line they gave me was y minus 5 is equal to 5 times x plus 2. This is in point slope form, which means that one is my slope. So my slope is equal to 5 over 1. My parallel slope is also going to be 5 over 1 because parallel lines have the same slope. My perpendicular slope, however, will be the opposite sign, which means it's going to have to be negative, and then flip that fraction over. So it's going to be 1 over 5. So those are the answers for number 4. And then for number 6, they gave it to us in a different form. This one, you can't tell what the slope is. So in order for us to find it, we're going to have to put it in slope-intercept form. So I got to get the y by itself. So I'm going to subtract 5x from both sides. That gives me negative 10y is equal to negative 5x plus 7. Divide everything by negative 10. And you get y is equal to a positive. 5 over 10 will reduce down to 1/2 x. And then that'll be a negative, because it's got one negative, 7 over 10. Now we don't care about this one. All we cared about was our slope. So that means that our slope is equal to 1/2, which means our parallel slope is also going to be 1/2. And our perpendicular slope means we change the sign, so it'll become negative, and then we flip it over. 2 over 1, or a negative 2. And that's number 6. Number 10 is the last one I wanted to talk to you about. Number 10 says the 2 points of AB and CD are given. Are the lines parallel, perpendicular, or neither? So for my A, I have -2, -5, and B is 3, -1. And then C is -8, 1, and D is -13, 5. So I'm going to have to figure out what the slope of this line is, and then the slope of this line, and then I can say if they're parallel, perpendicular, or neither. So for the slope of this line, I have to do my m equals y2, which is -1, minus y1, which is -5, over x2, which is 3, minus x1, which is -2. Minus and negative, same thing as plus, and you get a 4 on top. Minus and negative is the same thing as plus, and you get a 5 on the bottom. So this slope is 4 over 5. Down here, I get m equals 5 minus 1 over -13 minus -8. Minus and negative, same thing as plus. That gives me 4 on top, and -5 plus 8 is, sorry, -13 plus 8 is -5. Are they the same? No, they're not exactly the same because one's got a negative and the other one does not. Since they're not the same, that means they're not parallel. Since one is positive and one is negative, that's looking good for perpendicular, only we didn't flip a fraction over. So it can't be perpendicular either. So these are going to be neither parallel nor perpendicular. Since they are neither, that means that they are intersecting, but not perpendicular. They just wanted you to write neither after reading it again. But I wanted to explain what it was going to be. Okay, so that finishes up this section. Oh my goodness, we are done. Oh, the last video, can you believe it? Geometry is over with. I know you're sad, aren't you? It's okay. I understand. Somebody wanted to make you a video to be your last geometry video. I forget who it was. They wanted to teach this section instead of me, but I couldn't believe they wanted to rob me of this joy. Okay, I'll forgive them. Classwork and homework are on page 567. It's in the practice exercises this time. I know you're shocked. Classwork is numbers 3, 9, 13, and 17. Look at that, not very many. Homework is numbers 7, 11, 15, 19, and 29. The last batch. The only thing you have after this is a review and a test for chapter 13, and then a review and a test for your final. I'd love to tell you that I know what they are, but I really don't. What I do know about this is that for your final, you can earn extra credit. This is how you do it, because it's the only time I'm going to tell you. For your final, if you want to earn extra credit, you need to make a construction for me. Like a really pretty construction. I want it to be creative. Somewhere in this construction, I need to see a hexagon. Somewhere in this construction, I need to see a square. Somewhere in this construction, I need to see more than one circle. Somewhere in this construction, I need to see that you did a midpoint or a mid-segment. Somewhere in this construction, I need to see that you bisected an angle. And other than that, make it pretty. Make it look like a piece of stained glass that's going to go inside of a church. Make it a really pretty design and make sure it's on that good paper. You can color it. to make it a pretty design with colored pencils if you want. You can color it with highlighters if you want. You can use watercolors if you want. Just make sure that I can still see that you used those elements in it. So wherever the square is, you might want to outline it in black. Wherever the hexagon is, you might want to outline it in black. Wherever the two circles are that you want me to see, you might want to outline them in black. You can use more than the things that I'm telling you. But these are the things that I'm looking for. The midpoint of a segment, you need to make sure that that's marked. And the bisector of an angle, you need to make sure that that's marked. And that's all. That would be your extra credit. The prettier it is, the more extra credit I'm willing to give. You can earn up to 10 points extra credit. That one does need to be sent to me unless you can have it done by the time I leave the house in June. Otherwise, you're going to have to send it to me. Okay. I will talk to you later. Behave. Much love. And hopefully I'll see you this summer again. Okay, bye.